Welcome to Python 3 An Illustrated Tour. I'm Matt Harrison and I'll be your host through this nice trip on the new features of Python 3. Let me just give you an introduction about what we're going to cover in this course. We're going to talk about the changes and new features in Python 3. So if you've been using Python 2 for a while and transitioned to 3, or you've started using 3 but aren't aware of all the new features, this course is for you. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm the author of various Python books. I wrote the best-selling illustrated guide to Python 3. I have books on pandas as well as the Tiny Python notebook. I run a company called Metasnake and I do consulting and training for them. So I've trained at companies big and small, and I'm really used to seeing how people cope with Python and how people cope with the new features. I ran the Utah Python user group for 5 years. I've been using Python since 2000. And I tweet about Python with my username DunderMHarrison. Who is this course for? Well, it's for old Python programmers or those who have been using Python 2 and maybe have transitioned to Python 3 but are still programming it as if it were Python 2. It's also for new Python programmers, those who are just getting started and want to sort of understand better the features and cool syntax and benefits that Python 3 provides. So in general, this course is aimed for all those who want to leverage the latest features of Python. Let's talk about what we're going to cover in this course. We're going to talk about virtual environments, how you can make use of pipenv in a Windows or Unix environment. We'll also be talking about f-strings and how you can take advantage of those. Great new feature in Python 3. We'll also talk about what has changed in numbers since Python 2, some of the things that are happening under the covers, as well as some other features that you can take advantage of. We'll talk about classes. We'll dive into super and learn how that works. We'll also talk about some of the new dunder methods in classes. We'll talk about functions. We'll talk about keyword-only arguments, and we'll get into some of the fun stuff there. We'll look into the standard library, some of the new libraries in the standard library. We'll look at the statistics module, we'll look at the enum module, we'll look at the pathlib module, and show some examples from those. We'll also talk about some of the new syntax in Python 3 that isn't available and why you might want to use that. We'll look at the new async library. We'll talk about how that functions under the covers, the mechanisms that that's using, and we'll look at cool things like asynchronous context managers, asynchronous iterators, and asynchronous generators. We'll also dive into annotations and see how you can take advantage of this cool new feature to make your code more robust. In addition, we'll look at Unicode. This is native in Python 3, and we'll see some of the features that Python 3 supports and allows you to do with the new Unicode functionality. We'll also look at some of the new annotation tools that allow you to take advantage of the annotation syntax. And we'll also talk about the new features like generalized unpacking and show some examples of that. So in addition to content, which I think is pretty good, there's also a lot of labs for all these concepts, and you get to try your hand at these labs. There are some cool self-correcting assignments that you'll get to do. And in addition, there's content that walks through all the solutions to those, as well as it walks through common errors that people have when they come across these things. So it's a great way to try your hand out and learn these new things and take advantage of them. I hope you enjoy this class, and I hope that it makes your Python code much cleaner, easier to read, and more robust. Enjoy!